Alright, so what we got here today, let me float myself on top. We had a project that I did yesterday. It's a secure and efficient infrastructure management at the bank. They want us to create some directories, create some groups, set the permissions of the groups, create some users, set some emails, basically some Linux commands and management to be able to show proficiency and able to solve problems in a real world type way. As you can see, yesterday I got this done at 12:14, and that's here in my Obsidian. You guys should probably look into getting Obsidian. It's a good note-taking application. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a Linux distribution called Debian, and I'm inside of VMware. Obviously, we could do it in AWS as well, and I'll be doing it in there as well. But I want to just go over this right quick and run it as one command and see if we can do it. So big ups to everybody that's supporting. Let's go. Let's see what we can do with it. So we're in root, but we're gonna do sudo group add developers, and then move on to the next one. The double ampersand means that you can move the terminal can move to the next command. Sudo group add, and this is operations. And sudo group add, and this will be data analyst. Right? And then from there we want to make the folders. So sudo make dir and put it in the home directory, developers. Right? And then next. Oh, matter of fact, what we want to do is create the files as well. So and we're going to do cd, and we're going to cd into that folder. Developers, yeah. And then we're going to sudo touch file one. We'll give it 3 files. .txt, and we'll move on to the next, which is sudo make dir home operations, and then we're going to cd into the operations folder. Let's make sure we get everything right. We're going to cd into the operations folder, and then we'll make the file. These are brackets, by the way. Alright, and then we're going to sudo make dir, and this will be home data analyst, and then we're going to, those are in the brackets, we want to cd into that folder, analyst, analyst, yeah, and then we want to create some files, so we'll do that. Right, and then now we want to change the ownership. So we'll say sudo, and then the colon for the group developers, yeah, and then that would be in the develop. That would be in the developers folder, and then we're gonna do the next one, which is sudo change ownership, and then we're going to put that in operations inside of the operations folder. right? And then the next one is change ownership for the data analyst folder, and that's inside the data analyst folder, right? Right, cool. So now we want to do now is change the permissions on the folders. So we'll do Chmod 770, and on that folder, so developers, right, right. And then we're gonna do it on the next one, 770. Developers, and then operations, right? And then the next one, sudo chmod 770, and we want that in the data analyst folder, right? Cool. So now we want to add the users. So sudo user add, and then we'll use the M flag, S flag, and this is for bin bash, right? And then we'll use the C for the comments, and this is for Jay Weiler to add the email, jweiler@levelupbank, levelupbank.com. Come out of that, Jay Weiler is the username, and then we'll start with the next one, user add, M flag, S flag, and bin bash, C for comments, and then this one was B Dorsey at levelupbank.com. Come out of that, B Dorsey, and then last user we user add, and M flag, S flag, then bash. And we need, I'm forgetting something, matter of fact, the G for the group. So let me go back to the first one. We don't want to user add jweiler. So after bin bash, it's capital G developers, and then for the second one was B Dorsey, it's capital G for operations. All right, and then for this last one, this one is for data analysts, and then we use the C for comments for the email, and that was JEWART at levelupbank.com, and JEWART. Now we want to set the permissions for each user, and they're in their respective group, and they have their respective folder. So we're gonna do sudo outside on the patio, nice. Y'all can see the view we got. Hold on, let me show y'all. Got a nice view, nice little place to hang out. That's where I get a lot of my work done, but that's why you hear all the noise too. So and this will be 700, and we're gonna put it on the home folder with Jay Waller, and we'll move to the next one, which is sudo chmod 700 on the home folder, and this is B Dorsey. Next one is sudo chmod 700, and it is the home folder for JEWART. that is pretty much it. So let's go back over this to make sure we didn't make any mistakes. Sudo group add developers, and that's one group. Operations is two groups. Data analysts, three groups. Then we make the directory, and then we cd into that directory, and we make a file, a couple files. We make a directory, operations, cd in operations, create some files. Then we make another directory, data analyst, cd in the data analyst, and then create three files. Then we change the ownership of developers, the group developers, to have access to the developers folder. And then change the ownership of operations to have access to the operations folder. And change the ownership of data analyst group to have access to the data analyst folder. And then we set the permissions for that folder, developers. And set the permissions for the operations folder, set the permissions for the data analyst folder. Then we add the user here, developers, and then the email and the username. Add the user to the group, the email, and the user. And last group, the email, and the user. And then we change the permissions on that user for the specific folder, because if you see here where we added the user, we gave them access to the group, and that group has permissions to that folder. So everybody is doing, they're in their proper place. So now let's hit enter and see what we got. Bam. So to check that, we go get ent group, and as you can see, we have developers, operations, data analyst, Jay Waller, B. Dorsey, and Jay Ewart, right? So if you go ID Jay Waller, you'll see here we have the UID, GID, he's in the group, and developers. And also ID B. Dorsey, same, he's in 1005, and then ID JEWART, and that's all there. So basically, what we did was we took all the commands and we put them in one command. So we didn't have to worry about writing it out. Now we could take that and put it in a script, and then name the script, today's Saturday, .sh. And all we got to do is chmod plus X to give execution rights to that folder. So it'd be chmod plus X, and then the path of the folder, or the path of the file, and the name of the file, and then you'll be able to run it sudo /name of the file, and it'll run it. So next I'll be putting out the documentation, and I'll do it not in one command, but one at a time to break everything down, and you guys get a better understanding. So I hope this helped, but this was a good experiment. This was my first video, so everybody, let's level up in tech. See y'all in the next one.